Cindy.
And I'm Memaw Dixie.
And I'm the granny.
And we're on an adventure. The old creek. If this creek could talk, the stories it could tell. If you never want your kids in the creek, don't bring them to Granny's. It's their favorite place to go. This is my meditating bench, my little flower bed. Steps going down to the creek. Peaceful. And the cat playing on the hill. Luna! This creek can tell a lot of stories. Dixie and I used to go ice skating on the creek when it would freeze in the winter. It doesn't freeze like that anymore. Todd and Alton used to jump off the bridge into the cold water in the winter time and go swimming. Stop every car coming up and down the road wondering what's going on. And most of us all got out our Barbies and our boats. We used to have slate rocks along the creek bank, and we'd sit on those slate rocks and we would play all day long with our Barbies. Mick would even break out the G.I. Joe and play with us. A lot of crawdads have come out of this creek, tadpoles, and a lot of snakes. Jeremy and Nathan and Chris used to walk up and down the creek, catch every snake they could find, and put it in a bucket for Daddy. They'd knock on the door and say, "Papa, come look and see what we got you." And they'd have a bucket of snakes. He'd have a fit. But every kid that comes to Granny's goes to the creek. If they don't get in the creek gets on them. So everybody needs to bring changes of clothes for their kids when they come visit Granny. Now Anna and Nick and Nolan used to swing on a big rope on this big walnut tree behind me. They'd have a boogie board in the water. They'd hold the rope and they'd play on that boogie board and act like they were surfing. They'd catch crawdads and chase Anna around with them. But this creek holds a lot of memories.
Well, we're going to talk about the creek. I've got a lot of memories about the creek. I was born and raised here. And we would get in that creek every day in the summertime. We would wade the creek, we would dam it up and go swimming because we had nowhere to go swimming, had no swimming pools. And besides, when it would rain, it would flood everything. It would go over the bridge. If we was on the other side, we couldn't get back home till the creek went down. And sometimes it would even wash our bridge away. And we'd have to go to Grandma's house and go across their bridge. But we've had a lot of good memories, and a lot of kids has played in my creek. They have caught minnows, crawfinches, or anything. And we've had quite a few snakes in there, but I'd say the snakes left when the kids got in the creek because some of the kids probably meaner than the snakes was. But we've had a lot of good memories in that water.
This is Memaw Dixie here, and we're in Virginia fishing. And I have some homemade sunscreen across my legs. I did put bullfrog on, but I think it was old and I got sunburned. So now I'm having to add extra protection. So this is what we're using. We've had a good morning fishing. We've caught probably, how many fish we caught? We've caught about 12, 15, something like that. So we're having pretty good morning fishing. It's a beautiful lake, you can see, but it is hot. It was 97 yesterday, but I don't think it's supposed to get 97 today, but I hope not. Catch you later. Okay, I've got my noodles cooking and my eggs. You see I got my eggs in with it. Just makes it faster. And as soon as they get done, I will take them out and I will rinse them in cold water and then put them in a bowl and add my other ingredients. Cutting up my vegetables for my macaroni salad. And this little tube right here was my Memaw's. And I got it. So this is what I use this thing all the time to especially do my carrots, to peel them, and it makes it so much faster and so much easier. My macaroni's done, and I'm rinsing it in cold water to cool it off good. And once it cools, I will put it in a bowl and start mixing my vegetables. You want to always rinse your noodles in cold water so that they don't stick together, and they won't be, they'll be really loose, and this worked out a whole lot better. I took the juice of my noodles where they were boiling with my eggs, and when I drained them, my eggs weren't quite done, so I put them back in the pot with the hot juice, put them back on the stove, and I'm boiling my eggs, because that's usually the last thing I put in anyway. So I'm going to boil them for just a few more minutes. I'm going to mix everything up, and I'll show you what it's going to look like. All my vegetables cut up. I got carrots, peppers, celery, onions, tomatoes, cucumbers, and my noodles are in my bowl. I've got my eggs in the pot. I'm running cold water over them. I'm going to let them set in cold water till I get everything mixed up, and then I'll put the eggs in last. This morning I'm making some macaroni salad. And I had so many cucumbers in my garden and started getting tomatoes in. So I mixed my tomatoes and cucumbers together, and I put a dab of salt in it so that they will bleed and you'll get juices out of them. And it makes your macaroni salad taste a whole lot better. If you're like me and you hate to peel eggs and they're hard to peel, I'll show you a little trick. You can get you a jar and put your little water in it and shake it up really good. Whenever I took my egg out of the jar, it was totally peeled. I didn't have to do anything but cut it up and put it in my macaroni salad. So that's a little trick if you didn't know. Got everything in my bowl, and I am going to put about a big tablespoon of mayonnaise in it. I hate mayonnaise, but I use it to cook with, I guess, because it can camouflage it so I can eat it. But I don't eat mayonnaise on anything unless I'm putting it in some kind of salad or something that I'm cooking. I just don't like it. And I will put a pinch of sugar and my mayonnaise in it. I'll stir it up good, and then I'll put my eggs in it. Okay, guys, my macaroni salad is done. So I will put it in the fridge, and we'll have it for supper tonight.
I have macaroni salad. Yay, it's like one of my favorite foods. So good as always. Perfect for the summer.